We're making pumpkin cheesecake. Actually, Premoni's making it. What we have is a mixing bowl full of graham cracker crumbs.
Not
we
the
have our
pumpkin
Beirut.
cheesecake.
We've got cinnamon This is not pumpkin cheesecake. Hello, we are not making pumpkin cheesecake. What we have is all the fixins here for some strawberry-rhubarb cheesecake. Graham cracker crumbs, bay leaf, cinnamon, couple blocks of cream cheese. We've got a melted butter mixture, and we've got our jam. Pam, do you have anything you'd like to add? She's adding the cinnamon. She's adding more cinnamon. We are having a nice day today here in beautiful Southern California. Now, we're going to take some of Chris's arm hair. No, we're taking some nutmeg. This is nutmeg. And what she's doing is she's adding a little zest with the nutmeg using the zester. Notice how concentrated and focused she is on what she's doing here. Next you add the melted butter. That looks to be about 1 cube of melted butter. Is this correct? Yes, Chris. Good. And then you mix it until the graham crackers become all clumpy and mixed in with the butter and the cinnamon and the nutmeg. Now here comes the fun part. There, wasn't that fun? This is the fastest cheesecake around. Now this is my girdle. This is what keeps this belly in, but today we're going to be using it for a cake. You can buy these at any 99-cent only store, but I wouldn't recommend that. I would prefer that you go and get it at a nicer place, like maybe a Ross or a Home Goods or someplace where it's actually going to last. Because you know what happens to things you buy at the 99-cent only store. This is going to be our lower crust for the cheesecake. On our cooking show, we like to introduce unexpected elements. And one unexpected element that I'll be bringing in shortly is going to be a kitten. We will see how we can make this and continue making this cheesecake with a kitten on the counter. Oh, finesse! What she's doing is using the bottom of a measuring cup to pad down the graham cracker mash that's in there. And you want to create a little bit of a ridge going up because that's what's going to hold in the cheesecake material. And if you do it just like this, you can't go wrong. And it's always good to ask questions of our chef when she's in the middle of doing something delicate like this. So my question is, Pam, what's the capital of Illinois? Very good. Now, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Then you take and you put it in the refrigerator, any place you can find a space. As you can see, Pam has prepared a wonderful Thanksgiving feast. She says, she speaks. What she's getting now are eggs. These are the breakable kind of eggs. And she's going to break one on my head, and now she's breaking the rest of the eggs. This is 4 eggs, by the way, that she's putting into a nice container, big enough for mixing up what she's going to do next. Let's take a look. All right. Cheesecake, incidentally, was invented in the late 1600s. I don't recall the name of the lady who invented it, but everybody who sat at the table that night, why, they loved it, and they were trying to think of a name for it. And they had had a little bit too much mead that night to drink, and one of them said to the other, "You know, you look just like a cheesecake." And so the cheesecake was born, and from then on it was known as cheesecake. Back to our festivities. Okay. Got our mixing bowl. Got the scissors. It's good to use kitchen scissors to cut open the cream cheese packet. By the way, this cream cheese and the butter were both allowed to soften overnight before we use them. So that way, you're not dealing with a hard block of cheese. You're dealing with something that's already quite malleable and ready to be mixed. And you're going to want to use 2 full blocks of it. Do not be tempted to put fingers and eat from the cream cheese, because you're going to need an entire blocks. Incidentally, cream cheese was invented in the late 1800s, which makes it kind of difficult to surmise how it's possible that cheesecake was made 200 years before. But it's not for me to figure these things out, it's just for me to document the cooking event in Pam's kitchen. You get yourself a nice blender, because if you do this with a fork, it'll take you forever. This particular blender we bought on sale at the store. Notice there's a knife in the cabinet. If you see that knife disappear at any time during the cooking, run. So you take your blender, and you're going to mix the heck out of that cream cheese. It's going to appear to be kind of whipped. This is sugar. This is sugar in the raw that we're using, unrefined sugar. But that's not what we wanted to use here. What we're actually doing is getting out the flour. Oh no, it's not. It is regular granulated sugar that we're using, folks. Because we want to make the best possible cheesecake. But we are making some sacrifices. So we use a big old cup of the granulated sugar, and then we take about 1/3 of a cup of the unrefined sugar in the raw. And because we like to clean up as we go, we're putting the jars back on the counter. There we go. Notice there are 2 knives there. If those knives disappear, run. Mix it all together. And now you're ready to throw in the towel. No, we're not throwing in the towel. We're going to throw in eggs. We have our egg whipper, and we got our cream cheese whipper. And there's a whip in the other room. We call that the whipper snapper. Thank you. One of the knives has disappeared. Run. Incidentally, the knife was invented back in the times of the caveman by a caveman. So now you're dripping in the eggs, one egg at a time, because you want it to be a nice uniform mixture. Now another egg, actually 2 eggs that time. Notice that it's becoming liquefied. Now all of our eggs have been added.